Forget everything you think intelligence looks like. It doesn't look like a straight A student. It doesn't look like someone who wins every argument or impresses every room. In fact, psychologists studying people with exceptionally high IQs have found something that keeps surprising them. The smartest people in any room often look the strangest. They have habits that confuse people, patterns that get misread as weakness, weirdness, or social awkwardness, behaviors that, on the surface, look like flaws. But they aren't flaws. They are the fingerprints of a brain that simply runs on a different operating system than everyone else. Today we are going to look at the habits that quietly, almost invisibly, reveal someone may have one of the most powerful minds you will ever encounter. And one of them, psychologists are still debating why it works the way it does. 1. They are deeply uncomfortable with simple answers. Ask a highly intelligent person a question and watch what happens. They don't answer immediately. They pause. They qualify. They say things like, "It depends," or "That's more complicated than it sounds." This isn't evasion. It isn't insecurity. It is a mind that genuinely cannot switch off its awareness of complexity. Where most people hear a simple question and reach for a simple answer, the high IQ brain immediately sees the layers underneath. The exceptions, the edge cases, the ways the obvious answer falls apart under pressure. Psychologists call this integrative complexity, the ability to hold multiple, often contradictory perspectives simultaneously without collapsing into a single conclusion prematurely. It makes them frustrating in casual conversations. It makes them extraordinary in rooms where the stakes are high and the easy answer is the dangerous one. 2. They have a strange relationship with sleep. This one surprises people. Research consistently shows that individuals with higher measured intelligence tend to be night owls, staying up late, thinking when the world goes quiet, doing their best mental work in the hours when everyone else is powered down. But it goes beyond just staying up late. Highly intelligent people often struggle to switch their minds off at all. They lie awake running scenarios, revisiting conversations, noticing the solution to something that bothered them 3 days ago. This isn't insomnia born of anxiety, though it can look identical from the outside. It is a brain that has not finished processing yet. A cognitive engine still running calculations in the background long after the body has asked it to stop. The mind doesn't keep them up because something is wrong. It keeps them up because it isn't done yet. 3. They find it almost impossible to stop asking. Why? Here is the habit psychologists find most fascinating and most difficult to fully explain. Highly intelligent individuals have what researchers describe as an almost compulsive need to trace everything back to its root cause. Not just understanding what something is, but why it exists, why it works that way, why the rule was made, why everyone simply accepts it without question. This goes far beyond intellectual curiosity. It is a fundamental discomfort with inherited assumptions, a refusal, almost instinctive, to accept the world as it was handed to them. Where most people learn the rule and follow it, the high IQ mind learns the rule and immediately begins stress testing it, looking for the cracks, asking whether it still applies, wondering what was lost when it was decided. This is precisely what makes highly intelligent people difficult to manage in rigid systems, and exactly what makes them responsible for dismantling the systems that needed to be dismantled. 4. They carry the weight of other people's emotions. This one almost never makes it onto the list, and it should. Research into emotional intelligence and cognitive ability has found a striking pattern. People with exceptionally high IQs are often acutely, sometimes painfully aware of the emotional states of those around them. They notice the tension in a room before anyone names it. They detect the shift in someone's energy before that person has consciously registered it themselves. They absorb the unspoken. This isn't a gift everyone recognizes as one, because carrying that level of emotional information constantly, involuntarily, is exhausting in ways that are very difficult to explain to someone who doesn't experience it. It can feel like emotional noise that never fully quiets, but it also gives them an almost preternatural ability to read situations, to understand what people need before those people ask, and to navigate complex human dynamics with a precision that looks, to everyone watching, like pure instinct. It isn't instinct. It is a form of intelligence the standard IQ test was never built to measure. 5. They are their own harshest critic. Here is something that strikes almost everyone who studies high IQ individuals up close. They rarely believe they are as intelligent as they are. This is not false modesty. It is a direct consequence of the way their mind works. Because the same brain that allows them to see complexity in everything also allows them to see every gap in their own knowledge with painful clarity. They are aware of what they don't know, acutely, constantly aware. Psychologists have a name for the inverse of this: the Dunning-Kruger effect, where limited knowledge produces inflated confidence. Highly intelligent people tend to sit at the opposite end of that curve. The more they know, the more visible the edges of their knowledge become. They don't feel smart. They feel permanently, privately behind. And yet, that exact discomfort is what drives them. The gap between what they know and what they want to know is the engine. The dissatisfaction is the fuel. 6. They lose themselves completely in the things that interest them. And then there's this. Give a highly intelligent person something that genuinely captures their attention: a problem, a subject, a craft, and they will disappear into it entirely. Hours pass without notice. Meals go uneaten. The outside world becomes irrelevant. They surface eventually, slightly dazed, surprised to discover how much time has moved without them. Psychologists call this state flow, a condition of deep, frictionless absorption that produces some of the highest levels of human performance and creativity ever recorded. But for high IQ individuals, this isn't an occasional experience. It is the natural state of a mind that has finally found something worthy of its full capacity. Neurological research shows that during these states, the brain's default mode network and executive function systems operate in rare and powerful coordination, a level of integrated activity that most brains rarely sustain. What looks like obsession from the outside is the brain finally running at the speed it was built for. The thread that connects them all. The discomfort with simple answers. The sleepless processing. The compulsive why. The weight of others' emotions. The relentless self-criticism. The total absorption. None of these look like intelligence on the surface. Most of them look like problems. But what they all share is a single underlying quality: a mind that cannot accept a shallow pass at anything, that must go deeper, stay longer, push harder, understand more completely. True intelligence has never been about knowing the most facts in the room. It has always been about the depth to which a mind is willing to go, and the discomfort it is willing to tolerate in pursuit of something real. If you recognized yourself in any of this, in the sleepless nights, the too many questions, the feeling of carrying more than you can easily explain, you are not alone, and you are not broken. You are simply a mind that refuses to stay on the surface. Psychologists sometimes call this group the quietly exceptional. Not the loudest in the room, not the most decorated, not the ones who make it obvious. The ones whose intelligence lives in the way they notice things, in the questions they can't stop asking, in the depth they bring to a world that keeps asking them to stay shallow. That kind of mind is rare, and it is worth understanding. Subscribe if this resonated. We're just getting started, and there is a lot more worth understanding.